Continuing with Sarah Schmelzel as she joins us here on the tee before the 80th playing of the U.S. Women's Open at Erin Hills. Sarah, thank you so much for jumping on with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So you're coming in T6 in the last major championship at the Chevron. What went well for you there, and what do you think can translate for you here in Erin Hills?
Yeah, I did a really good job at Chevron of not beating myself. I didn't necessarily have my A game tee to green, but I did a really good job of not letting my attitude change because of that. And I just grinded out some really, really good golf over the 4 days and had some shining moments that helped me score and made some birdies as well. So I think overall just taking that kind of grinder mentality into this week and not letting my attitude get up and down based on, how I'm hitting it or not hitting it, and just trying to score the best I can.
Is this your first time at Erin Hills?
It is.
What are your impressions of the ballpark?
Yeah, it's a big golf course. It's going to be a really, really good test. Definitely test all parts of your game, from course management to, long game, short game, putting, everything. So I think it's really a total test, which, we always look for at a U.S. Open. You can kind of hear it in our microphones right now. The wind's starting to pick up. How do you prepare when the elements are out of your control? Yeah, I think that's when I just try to have the best mentality possible to not let it get to me too much, and especially on a golf course like this when the wind picks up, everyone's going to be making bogeys. It's just about minimizing damage and then taking advantage of opportunities when you do have them. So I think it's all about having a great mentality and just kind of plotting along.
Sarah Schmelzel, our guest here on the tee as we get ready for the 80th U.S. Women's Open at Erin Hills. When it is such a big ballpark like this, is kind of having some of that patience you were talking about, knowing people are going to make bogeys, does that continue to come into effect here?
Yeah, I think so. Some of these holes are just so hard. They're going to play over par, and making bogey really might not be a bogey, and it might be a par that day, and really, making doubles or more is actually what's going to hurt you. So I think you're going to hit bad shots, you're going to get kicked in the teeth a little bit, and you just have to take your medicine, minimize the damage, and move on and, try and make a birdie on the next hole or whenever your next scoring opportunity is. When you come to a venue for the first time, is there a number you have in your head, or are you very process-driven, shot by shot, hole by hole, or do you say, I'm looking to get to 15 under by the end of the week and see where that takes me? Yeah, I'm definitely more process-oriented. I kind of leave that side of it to my caddy if he's got a number, and, then that's how we're kind of dictating how we're playing each hole. But for the most part, we like to play pretty conservatively, especially in a tournament like this where, birdies are going to be hard to come by. It's more about minimizing damage and, really grinding out a good score more than anything. So I think we just take that throughout the week more than really trying to reach a goal of a number. When you're seeing a golf course for the first time, I imagine you're getting as much prep in this week, but leading up to it, are you watching YouTube highlights? Are you watching Brooks Koepka's win here in 2017? Yeah, it was funny. I was watching the highlights from JT's round when he shot, 9 under, 8 under? Yeah. And some of the shots he was hitting, like that 3-wood that he hit into 18, you kind of look at the green and you're like, how on earth did he hit that shot? How did he get it to stop? So that's really fun. I mean, I think the biggest part about watching any of the highlights is you still see like how fearless those guys are with some of the shots that they were hitting, the lines they were taking. It was like they were still trying to make birdies, which, I think it's easy at a golf tournament like this, on a course like this, to think you kind of have to dial back a little bit. So it's cool to watch how aggressive they still are, and for us to take that into this week as well. Did you go and look at the plaque that they have on 18? So it's just there's in the fairway over there, it's just a little circle, Erin Hills logo. It doesn't say JT. And it's one of those things, if you know, you know. Yeah. And then you just kind of stand there and kind of have that same reaction of, what? Yeah, I know. It looks like it's off on an island over there. It's like, that's not even on the green. Yeah. This is not your first time in Wisconsin. You played the PHC Classic a number of years ago when he was at Brown Deer. What were your memories of playing golf in that event? Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin golf is fun. I think Midwest golf is really fun. It's so green, it's so lush. You're going to get great greens and just great conditions in general around the greens. It's fun to chip off of. You can generate a lot of spin. So it's great memories. I mean, the weather's been amazing this week as well. Hopefully that rain is only tomorrow and not the rest of the week. But obviously really fond memories to look back on and see how far I've come since then as well. You had mentioned tough holes out here. Which ones stand out to you that are going to be the biggest test for you and for the field this week? Yeah, I think you get off to an easier start on 1 and 2, and then kind of 3 through 6 are really, really good holes. and then you got maybe 7's a little bit of a scoring chance, and you got 8 and 9 that are really hard again. So they just kind of, all of them are hard, I think.
Should I rephrase? Yeah. Which are the easy holes out here?
I know, even 14 for us, it's probably going to be reachable as long as the wind is favorable, and even when those pins are on the right, like, you can still make a mess of it, even though it's a reachable par 5. So I think that's what's so neat about this golf course is even when you feel like you might have a birdie hole, like a wedge or something, you still might be playing it to 25 feet just to minimize any sort of wrong miss. So I think that's what makes this place so special.
It seems like the USGA has really made an effort over the last 5, 6, 7 years of making sure that they're also, for the women's game, coming to some of the venues, and this is one a handful now that's had a women's open, had a men's open. What are your thoughts on that effort that the USGA has been making to get the women's game to some of these more iconic courses?
Yeah, I mean, Mike Wan has obviously done a great job. He did with the LPGA and then now with the USGA. They're just doing such a great job of getting us the exposure, and I think making us a part of history of the game too. You've seen the men win U.S. Opens at Pebble Beach, and now you've got Allison Corpus stamped in the record books forever there. You'll have someone here this week, and so I think being able to add the women's side of the game and our history onto the men's side and all these historic wins that have happened at these amazing golf courses, I think it's huge for women's golf and our exposure. You
mentioned that you've played in Solheim Cups, you've played in major championships. Just what do you think of the growth of the game on the women's side?
Oh, it's exponential. It just keeps getting better and better. Our sponsors really, really believe in women's golf. They believe in us as individuals as well. And I think when we get eyes on us, people are impressed with our games, with the type of people we are, the way that we interact with our fans and sponsors and everything. So, I mean, it's just been amazing to see how much it's grown since I've been on tour and how positive that is for, looking forward, how much it's going to grow in the next 5, 10, 20 years.
Sarah, certainly appreciate the time. Best of luck this week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.